So you've heard everybody talk about passive income. You've heard people talk about funnels, automations, all that good stuff, but you just really aren't sure where to start. Or maybe you're a little bit freaked out because you don't think you're very tech savvy. Don't worry, I got you. That's what we're getting into today. My name's Elisa Boyd. This is the Digital Wellness, and I'm here to show you all the things online to make your life easier and create some digital wellness, some work-life balance for you. So today I want to talk about funnels, one of my favorite things. And I know that's kind of a catchy word. People talk about it all the time, but it's really not as scary as you might think it is. It essentially is just your customer journey from when they find you on the internet to when they actually make a purchase. The funnel is the trip down to that purchase. And so today I want to get into one of the easiest, most essential, first automated funnel that can start generating passive income for you today. So you've probably heard a lot about passive income. People talk about it online all the time, and I just want to get some things out of the way before we move forward. The first thing is passive income is not just passive. You actually have to do some work. You have to do something up front, a little bit of work, but it is worth it because it'll work for itself later on. So the idea that you can just build something once and then not think about it isn't entirely true. Even if you come up with the greatest product, you still need to let people know about it, get the word out, which is going to take some work. So just remove that from your brain because it just isn't true. Now, what we're going to talk about today is what I like to call the welcome funnel. It's introductory funnel when somebody first finds you, and there's a few key pieces that we need to go over to make sure that yours is set up correctly, okay? When it comes to a welcome funnel, welcome series, what I'm talking about is as soon as somebody comes into your world, what are we going to do? The goal of most automations is that we can continue to nurture our audience or this new person in our world without actually having to do the work manually, right? If somebody signs up for our newsletter, we don't have to physically go in and email them and say, hey, thank you. At the same time, we need to generate a bunch of touch points so they don't forget about us. So what this is going to look like is somebody's going to come to our social media page and we're going to have some sort of post telling them to sign up for our email. And the best way to do this is to have a freebie. Have some sort of, it's also called lead magnet, opt-in. What it is usually like a PDF, free training, cheat sheet, checklist, calculator, spreadsheet, template, all these different things are used so that somebody is willing to give you their email, because these days people's inboxes are so full of stuff that it takes a lot for somebody to sign up for something. You've probably seen it on websites where a brand will say, sign up for a newsletter and get 15% off your order. Now, I don't love this type of freebie because personally, I don't sign up unless I've already decided to buy. 15 or 10% isn't enough to entice me. I mean, if it's more than that, maybe, but otherwise I've usually already decided that I'm going to buy it. And so the extra percent off is just an extra. It's not making or breaking my decision. Whereas in the digital service side, if you can provide some really great value, and that is the key here, hot tip, if you're going to create some sort of freebie or lead magnet, it has to be so good. It has to be so good that people feel like they should have paid money for it, because ultimately this is the first taste of working with your business and you that they're going to get. And if it's not very good, they're not going to be very excited to want to pay for one of your services or offers. The other thing you want to think about when you're creating this freebie is you want it to either be the first couple steps towards your main offer or some sort of proof of what your offer does. So say you run Facebook ads for businesses. Maybe you have a calculator that shows if you spend this much money on ads, you can make this much more money in your sales. Or maybe it's like a template of like the first step in your program that they would kind of have to do anyways. The other things you want to think about is you want it to be a real quick win. You don't want somebody downloading this and then having to read through 50 pages of an ebook. You want people to get it, download it, use it, and feel good about themselves. That's going to release those hormones where they get all this good juju thinking that, they did something good, they did something powerful. Now, once you have this done, it's really easy. I have a whole guide on using ChatGPT to help you create your first ever freebie or lead magnet. Maybe not your first, maybe your fifth. And then we can hop into Canva and whip that up really quick. Now, what you're gonna have to set up in the back end is an email automation delivery system. You wanna set up some sort of workflow automation. They have these in email platforms like Flowdesk, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, and the trigger is sent, so it starts this automation where they get their first email that says, here's your download, this is great. I like to follow this up with a few more emails, probably 4 or 5, and this is where we're gonna start nurturing this new audience member without having to send these emails every time. I like to send an email that introduces who you are, what you're all about, where else they can find you on the internet. I like to send another email a couple days later that checks in and says, hey, did you actually use the freebie? Did you actually do the thing? Tell me how that went. The third email, I like to do another gift, here's something for free, because we want to give as much as we can before we start asking for them to buy from us. So if you have, like I said, another training, maybe another freebie you created, or something that's gonna be really helpful and useful, kind of in the same genre. And then it's great to send an email about maybe the benefits or some of the fears they might have around what your freebie is, what your offer is. And then lastly, finally, you want to say, hey, I have this program, this coaching group, this course. If you're interested, here it is. You've essentially warmed up this audience to say, hey, I'm here to support you and show up for you without instantly asking for something for free. When it comes to creating this freebie too, there's a few things you want to think about. Like I said, you got to come up with what the freebie is. You have to create some sort of landing page, opt-in page where people will go to sign up for this. And then you want to get them into your email automation. Now, each piece has their own tricks of the trade, things that you could do to improve all of it. The last thing though that you want to do is you got to tell people about this. So this is where social media comes in. This is the top of your funnel where people find out about you, and you want to direct them to this. And so you want to create content about how this freebie can help solve a problem for them really quick. The best thing is it's free. People love free stuff. So just remember that you want it to be a quick win. You want it to be so good that people are willing to pay for it. And you also want to make sure it's attached to one of your offers. Be ready. There will be people that will come into this and only want the free thing, and then they ghost you and you never see them again. But if your ideal client is out there, they're going to see this, they're going to see the value in it, and then they're going to want to work with you. And the more you can show up for them and show how you're there to help them get them to where they want to be, their end goal, help them with any challenges that they have along the way, then this is going to be really valuable for you. We can continue the mode.